Coming up, Fort Worth police are asking for your help to find the person responsible for a newborn baby's death. And a Texas superintendent has been suspended for soliciting a minor. Plus, recent golf news is catching the eye of lawmakers on Capitol Hill. It's 1 o'clock, and the news feed starts now.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Bronwyn Beasley.
And I'm Austin McCabe. It's a celebration of arts and letters to commemorate Juneteenth. The national holiday, highlighting the emancipation of slavery in the U.S., will be celebrated on the TCC Northeast campus. The Director of Student Development Services, Carol Walker, tells us more about the event.
We are super excited about our upcoming event, the 6th annual Juneteenth Northeast. This year, our theme is Kaleidoscope, Reflections of Freedom. And at this commemoration of this important time in history, we will be having performances from community members as well as members of our TCC community. We have special guests, the Inspiration Band. We will also have a dance performance from St. John's Church. We will also have performances from our music department as well as our dance company, Movers Unlimited. So we invite you, we encourage you to come out. It will be on Thursday, June 15th, 2023. Our reception will start at 5:15. The reception will be featuring Chef Kareem, who will be having a delicious offering of hors d'oeuvres for us. Also at the reception, you can anticipate artwork from our students who participated in a scholarship contest. And then the winners of the scholarship contest will be announced at the formal event, which will start at 6 p.m. So it'll be a wonderful occasion. We would love for you to come out. We are so thankful for our co-hosts, our partners in the community, the North Central Texas Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It's going to be a wonderful time. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Asking for the public's help in trying to figure out how a newborn baby ended up dead in the front yard of a home in Fort Worth. Police believe the child was placed outside the 5100 block of Birchman Avenue sometime between Monday and Tuesday. The Fort Worth PD is asking the public to contact them at 682-382-1510 for any information you have about the case. There is no word on the baby's cause of death. The Itasca ISD Board has suspended Superintendent Michael Stevens after he was arrested last week at Itasca High School by authorities in Harris County on charges of solicitation of a minor. According to court documents, Stevens allegedly contacted an undercover officer posing as a 15-year-old girl on an undisclosed app and sent her inappropriate messages and photos, including the intent to drive to Houston to meet the girl for sex. One of the alleged statements on the app stated that he would consider divorcing his wife to marry the girl's mother just to get closer to the girl. Stephen remains in custody.
The Affairs Committee held a meeting Tuesday to discuss staffing challenges on the border. This comes one day after a second plane with migrants was flown to California. John Loring reports.
Nearly 36 migrants have arrived in Sacramento since Friday. The first group arrived by private jet from Venezuela and Colombia, according to a nonprofit group.
They're human beings. They're people with families. There's some young people, that are just trying to support or make a life for themselves. There's people who left their children behind.
The second group, carrying 20 migrants, came Monday on this private plane from Texas, which California officials believe was sent by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
His willingness to treat human beings, people, as political pawns. It's wrong, and we are getting to the bottom of it.
DeSantis, who recently announced he's running for president in 2024, says he's been cracking down on illegal immigration in his state.
We have banned sanctuary cities. We're cracking down on human smuggling. We've sent National Guard to the border to help with what's going on down there, and we even sent illegal aliens to beautiful Martha's Vineyard.
California Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted Monday calling DeSantis a, quote, small pathetic man for his alleged role in sending migrants to the Golden State. Meanwhile, local and state officials say they'll be providing assistance.
The people who are scared, who are vulnerable, who are flown here, they will be well cared for.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
ceiling nightmare is finally over. But how will it affect the economy? We'll have that and more for this week's national news.
Jason, let's go see your room.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch.
Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
2 people are dead and 5 others wounded after a shooting Tuesday outside a theater in Richmond, Virginia, where Huguenot High School's graduation ceremony had just taken place in Monroe Park. A 36-year-old male and an 18-year-old male who had just graduated were killed. Another gunshot victim suffered life-threatening injuries, and more people were injured from other causes, including a person who was hit by a car in the chaos. The suspect, who fled the scene, was later taken into custody. Investigators believe he was known by at least one of the victims, and the police also recovered 4 firearms at the scene. Earlier this week, President Biden convened his cabinet for the first time since January, and economic issues were at the top of the agenda. The White House, highlighting the deal to avoid default, infrastructure investment, and job creation. But where does the economy really stand? Karen Kaifa has a look from Washington.
Good afternoon.
President Joe Biden sitting down with his cabinet Tuesday for the first time since January.
Today I'm here with my cabinet continuing to focus on getting the job done for the American people.
With an eye toward Biden's 2024 re-election bid, where the economy will be among the top domestic issues, the White House used the meeting to highlight implementation of the president's infrastructure plan signed into law last summer, an unemployment rate under 4%, and the bipartisan debt ceiling deal Biden signed over the weekend to ensure the U.S. would avoid default.
He believes that we can continue to get things done, and there's a long list of legislative agenda that he wants to see.
With the debt ceiling crisis resolved, more economists are leaning away from the idea that the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes to curb inflation could slow the economy to a halt. Goldman Sachs chief economist told CNBC Tuesday the labor market is cooling in a way where layoffs have been confined to certain sectors.
If you look at the overall layoff numbers, they're still pretty similar to where they were in sort of 2018, 2019, when we had a pretty strong labor market.
And consumers keep spending, though major retailers like Macy's and Costco have reported a shift toward less expensive food, essentials, and services as 2 years of high inflation takes a toll.
Former Vice President Mike Pence has formally joined the growing field of GOP presidential hopefuls, which sets up a battle between him and his former boss, Donald Trump, for the Republican nomination. Pence released a video Wednesday morning declaring his candidacy, then kicked off his campaign in Iowa on Wednesday afternoon, where he went after Trump for the events of January 6th.
On that fateful day, President Trump's words were reckless. They endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol. But the American people deserve to know that on that day, President Trump also demanded that I choose between him and the Constitution. Now voters will be faced with the same choice. I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
Pence's former boss, like the former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who joined the 2024 race earlier this week as well. Christie spent his campaign kickoff slamming former President Trump on his electability.
The reason I'm going after Trump is twofold. One, he deserves it. And two, it's the way to win. So these two are not divided. And this is what I don't understand about the coverage, right? Well, I hope he's not just going out there to kill. No, I am going out there. Let me be very clear. I am going out there to take out Donald Trump, but here's why. I want to win. And I don't want him to win.
Are experiencing the worst air quality in the world. And triple digits aren't here yet, but they're getting close. Preston will have your forecast next.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think.
You alright? It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life, and I am so proud to call you my son.
Welcome back to NewsFeed around 5 o'clock. This is what some DFW commuters were experiencing in that local area as water is gushing all throughout the intersection and drivers are taking it pretty slow as flash flood advisories were broadcasted by the National Weather Service by these heavy downpours that did occur. As you can see why, as heavy rainfall was experienced all throughout southern western DFW area with heavy downpours and frequent lightning. Now it's a different tale from today as we're staying pretty clear as we take a live look at the DFW airport. As we stay mostly clear, sun is shining, but some spots of smog all throughout the background. But we do look to be staying clear as we look at the current conditions. Sitting about 89 degrees right now in the DFW area. High about 91 during that heating hour around 4 or 5-ish with winds well below 5 miles per hour. A similar tale into your weekend as well, 95, 94, and 96 on your weekend. Tomorrow, lows about 74, partly cloudy skies. Low about 73 on Saturday with 50% chance of rainfall. No severe weather is expected, 72 to close out your weekend. Now a similar tale on your 5-day forecast, about 94, 93, and 99 on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Lows about 70, 75, and 76, and 40% chance of rainfall on Tuesday. Now on Thursday and Friday, your eyes do not deceive you as we hit triple digits for the first time in 2023. 101 and 100 degrees on Thursday and Friday to close out your work week. Now Brown and Austin, these triple digits are approaching fast and are looking to stay all throughout June.
Thank you, Preston. Things are heating up all over. particularly in Canada, where smoke from Canadian wildfires has more than 55 million people in the Northeast, Midwest, and Mid-Atlantic regions of the U.S. under air quality alerts. Canadian officials say there are more than 150 active wildfires burning in Quebec. Major cities are shrouded in smoke, with New York and Detroit experiencing some of the worst air quality in the world on Wednesday morning. The Federal Aviation Administration says the smoke haze could delay flights through Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C.
The PGA Tour is merging with Live Golf. But why is Congress getting involved? You're watching the NewsFeed.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Some might say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. The U.S.-based PGA Tour made a surprising announcement in the world of professional men's golf, proposing a partnership between the DP World Tour, also known as the European PGA Tour, and rival Saudi Arabia-backed Breakaway Live Golf Series. Live Golf officially launched in June of last year, with participating players barred from competing in PGA Tour events. The new agreement would end the feuding between the parties, and, according to a statement, it would end all pending litigation and, quote, unify the game of golf. No details have been released yet on the entity's new name.
And top Senate Democrats are calling for an investigation into the merger, claiming the PGA Tour could only be looking for a cash grab.
The Live Saudi-backed, now monopoly, tried to smear the 9/11 families. These PGA officials owe not only an apology, they owe support to the 9/11 families in their quest for justice against Saudi Arabia. If PGA really wants to make amends for this really absolutely abhorrent merger, it ought to be supporting the 9/11 families rather than merging with an organization that tried to smear them, as the Live organization did.
I think it's a really serious thing to have a foreign dictatorship in charge of a major U.S. sports league. This is a watershed moment, and I think we need to treat it as such. Listen, let's be honest. The Saudis aren't buying the PGA because they love golf. They're buying the PGA because they want to erase their dizzying campaign of political repression.
In other sports news, the Texas Rangers are on a hot streak. Jason, what have you got for us?
The summer is here, and the Rangers are continuing to burn up the competition.
They took care of Seattle, sweeping them back to the Northeast by a combined score of 30-9. Then, in a rematch of the 2011 World Series, Texas got their revenge against the Cardinals. This weekend, their travel to Tampa is the two best records in baseball. The series opens tomorrow night. And staying in Florida, the Heat jumped out to an early lead in Game 2 and held on for the win despite Jokic getting 41. Both teams head to Miami for a Game 3, locked 1-1. And up the road, the Florida Panthers are coming back home down 0-2 in the Stanley Cup Finals against Vegas. The first two games weren't close. Florida was outscored 12-4. Game 3 is tonight. Puck drop is at 7. And an update from the college baseball regionals. TCU has advanced to the Super Regionals after a perfect series last weekend. They now will host the Super Regional round, welcoming nationally ranked Indiana State to Fort Worth. First pitch is tomorrow at 4 p.m. And that's your Timeline Sports.
A Galveston man discovers a World War II relic. And would you live in a 3D printed house? We'll be right back.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
The first 3D printed homes in Austin are about to go up for sale. Starting today, registration opens to buy any of the 6 futuristic homes in Georgetown. Betty Cross shares how the success of this neighborhood will help determine if the technology can be mainstreamed.
Home buyers looking for a unique space in the Austin suburbs are now getting their first chance to buy into a one-of-a-kind neighborhood.
We have scaled up.
Connor Jenkins is overseeing operations at Icon's first 3D printed community. 6 homes printed by these robots will be up for sale later this week in Georgetown's Wolf Ranch.
A lot of people are looking for something different, looking for a disruption.
This is the Dice floor plan. At not quite 1,600 square feet, it has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a kitchen island. It is the lowest priced home in the community.
Our first home starts at $475,000, and we go up into the high 500s.
Charlie Coleman is with the Lennar Corporation. He says these inch-thick layers of cement-based technology have generated a lot of buzz.
We've seen first-time home buyers, we've seen move-up families, we've seen empty nesters and retirees.
The question now is, will interest in learning about these innovative homes translate into buying them?
We've priced these homes to be on par with the current market for traditionally built homes.
While list prices are similar, Icon says these homes require less maintenance, and the use of lavacrete and solar panels will reduce heating and cooling cost.
We're excited to kind of prove out the technology and prove out the construction methods with folks that want to be trailblazers.
Prospective home buyers can register this week to be included in Saturday's sales launch of 5 of the 8 floor plans that will be available in the community.
Apple is taking a big risk and joining the trend toward wearable technology in Silicon Valley. On Monday, the tech giant announced new gadgets and features in what could be Apple's biggest product launch since the Apple iWatch in 2015. But what everyone is buzzing about is a much-anticipated mixed reality headset. Shelley Malachi has more in today's Consumer Watch.
This is a day that's been years in the making.
Apple CEO Tim Cook kicking off the 2023 Worldwide Developers Conference, introducing a mixed reality headset called Apple Vision Pro. Offers both virtual and augmented reality by allowing users to connect apps from Apple and others in a new way.
Blending digital content with the real world can unlock experiences like nothing we've ever seen.
Apple says the headset will go on sale early next year and will cost $3,499. Apple also unveiled new MacBooks, including a 15-inch MacBook Air, and several new features for the iPhone, iPad, and Watch, including improved video conferencing, FaceTime, and messaging features across all products,
including the ability to simply say Siri to activate Siri,
as well as a revamped lock screen for iPad OS, a new caller ID for iPhone users, and a new feature called Check-in, which notifies selected contacts when a user reaches an intended destination.
Whether you're walking home after dark or going for an early morning run, you can start check-in with a family member or friend to let them know when you get home safely.
If a user doesn't reach a destination, Check-in automatically shares useful information like location, battery, and cell service status with selected users. And as big tech companies race to introduce AI-powered tools, Apple took a more subtle approach to artificial intelligence, announcing an update to autocorrect that's using AI to make it more accurate. For Consumer Watch, I'm Shelley Malachi.
Over in Galveston, a man made quite the discovery earlier this week. Christopher Davis has been combing the beaches of Galveston Island for years, mainly finding sea beans, old bones, and old Coke bottles. But none of those items are nearly as unusual as the prize he located in San Luis Pass late last month.
Christopher Davis has been combing the beaches of Galveston Island for years.
Mainly sea beans, old bones, unfortunately, old Coke bottles.
Those are a few of the more interesting items he's found, none of them nearly as unusual, though, as the prize he located in San Luis Pass late last month.
Well, as I was going along, I noticed in that pile, I said, hey, there's one of those bundles.
And there it was, a giant hunk of dark brown rubber covered in barnacles with an ungodly smell.
Oh, it was horrible. Horrible stench.
To say Christopher was excited would be an understatement.
I feel like a kid in the candy store with an unlimited budget.
And he knew exactly what it was. Serendipitously, the discovery was made on Memorial Day weekend. Christopher had heard stories about pieces of a Nazi loot lost during World War II washing up on Texas beaches. This one was found on the Padre Island National Seashore back in March. In 1944, American ships off the coast of Brazil spotted a German blockade runner called the SS Rio Grande. The USS Omaha and USS Jewett fired on the Nazi ship, sending it and its cargo 3 miles down to the bottom of the ocean. The entire loot had remained there until about 3 years ago, when the floating bales of rubber started washing ashore. What makes the find even more exciting are the tales of a Nazi treasure that they may contain.
And I think the gold came from the fact that a lot of people think that he escaped to Argentina, and so he was packing the gold for him to have, you know, when he made it there, if he made it there.
Look how that stuff's layered, Chris.
Davis and his friends started cutting into the rubber. Their effort didn't result in gold, though, only more of that nasty smell. But Christopher doesn't care. If anything, discovering the stinky load of latex has left him wanting to find more.
Combing the beach sounds like a great way to spend the weekend.
Thanks for tuning in to the News Feed, and happy Pride Month, everybody.